Will you save my mother? The desperate alien daughter begged. Only one human stepped forward. No one on Unity Station expected the young alien apprentice to stand up during the assembly. And they definitely did not expect her to speak with a voice that trembled like a loose wire about to snap. The room had been loud only moments before, filled with chatter, laughter, and the usual noise of humans and aliens working side by side. But when Rhea of the Vasari rose to her feet, everything stopped. Her silver-blue skin flickered with unstable light. Her long hands shook at her sides. Her eyes, normally calm and steady, jumped from one human face to another, like she was begging someone to understand what she was about to say. Then the words came out. Please, someone. I need a human to connect with my father. The entire room froze. Even the air vents seemed to hold their breath. The Vasari never asked for help like this. Their family bonds were deep, private, sacred. They kept emotional matters behind closed doors. And yet here stood Rhea, shaking, glowing too brightly, looking like she might collapse if no one answered. Most humans looked away. Some shifted awkwardly. A few tried to pretend they didn't hear her, as if ignoring her would make the strange request vanish. But Rhea didn't back down. She stood there with her fists clenched, breathing fast, her glow flickering like a broken lantern. She looked desperate. Truly desperate. The kind of desperate that came from fear, not embarrassment. No one moved. No one spoke. No one understood what she meant. Except one man. Jonas Hale, a quiet technician who worked in the reactor wing, didn't look away like the others. He didn't pretend this was a mistake. He didn't shift in his seat or force an awkward smile. He simply watched her. And that alone seemed to hit Rhea like a lifeline thrown into deep water. Her eyes locked on him instantly. Her glow flickered hotter, then steadied, as if she recognized something inside him that no one else in the room carried. She took a shaky step toward him. You, she whispered, voice cracking. You're the only one here with the right resonance. Please. I beg you. The room went even quieter. Jonas felt every set of eyes shift to him, waiting to see what he would do. Waiting to see if he would step forward or break under the weight of her plea. He stood slowly, unsure why his chest tightened or why he felt pulled toward her like gravity itself had changed. Rhea, he said carefully. What's wrong? What's happened to your father? Her breath hitched. Her glow pulsed weakly. He's dying, she whispered. A ripple of shock moved across the room. Several humans gasped softly. Someone muttered a curse under their breath. But Rhea wasn't finished. Her voice broke again as she tried to explain. He cannot survive alone. His life force is collapsing. Our people bond through emotional resonance, but every Vasari healer is too strong. Their energy hurts him. He needs someone, calm. Someone quiet. Someone who will not push into his mind like a storm. Her throat tightened. Someone human. Jonas felt heat rise in his chest, a strange mix of fear and sympathy. He didn't understand what resonance meant. He didn't understand their bonding rituals. But he understood her eyes, shaking, hopeful, begging. Rhea stepped closer, lowering her head. Please. You don't understand. If he doesn't bond soon, I will lose my last family. Jonas felt the weight of those words sink into him like a stone dropped into water. He didn't know her well. He had seen her around the station, always polite, always quiet, always careful. But now she looked like someone moments away from breaking apart. His voice came out softer than he expected. Rhea. I'll go with you. Show me where he is. Her glow brightened at once, bright, warm, full of sudden hope, and she let out a breath she must have been holding for far too long. Thank you, she whispered, almost collapsing with relief. You don't know what this means. Jonas didn't. Not yet. But as she led him out of the assembly hall, past the whispering crowd and into the quiet corridor beyond, he knew one thing for certain. Whatever he had just agreed to, it was far more serious, and far more dangerous, than anyone in that room realized. And it was about to pull him into a bond no human had ever faced before. The hallway outside the assembly felt colder than usual. Metal walls, soft lights, and distant footsteps created a strange echo as Rhea hurried forward. Jonas followed behind her, unsure whether he should speak or stay silent. She moved fast, but not confidently, more like someone running from something inside their own chest. Finally, she stopped near a maintenance hatch and pressed her trembling hands against the wall. She took a long, shaking breath, trying to steady herself. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "I should not have spoken like that in public. My people, we never do." Jonas shook his head. "Don't apologize. You looked like you didn't have a choice." Her eyes glistened with faint light. "I didn't." She turned toward him fully, and for the first time since she stood up in the assembly, Jonas saw the full fear hiding behind her calm mask. Her eyes flickered with broken brightness. "My father, Varen, he is fading," she said softly. "Not slowly. Not in a way we can ease. He is collapsing from the inside." Jonas frowned. "I thought this was medical. Something healers could fix." "It isn't sickness," she said, voice trembling. "It is grief." He didn't understand. She saw that instantly. She lowered her head and continued, speaking carefully, like every word cost her strength. "When my mother died, his life force broke. Not his body, his luma. It is what holds us together inside. Without another presence to anchor it, the luma becomes hollow, then unstable, then it shatters." Jonas folded his arms. "But why can't another Vasari help him? You said healers tried." "They tried," she whispered. "All of them. Their energy is too sharp. Too strong. When they get close, he pulls away in pain. He cannot accept their resonance. He rejects them instinctively." Jonas took a step closer. "So why me? Why any human?" Rhea swallowed hard. "Because humans have calm energy. Gentle. Quiet. Your presence is soft to us. Your species does not push emotion outward, it flows like steady water. My father can survive near that. Maybe even connect to it." Her glow dimmed with exhaustion. "I have watched you, Jonas," she admitted, not meeting his eyes. "You work with dangerous machines. You stay calm even when others panic. When I stand near you, your energy is steady. My father needs that steadiness." Jonas opened his mouth to ask another question, but Rhea suddenly pressed her hands against her chest, like she was holding something breaking inside. "You must understand," she said shakily. "I have no siblings. No extended family. My father is the last person I have. If he goes, I have no one." Her voice cracked at the edges, and Jonas felt something tighten in his throat. He wasn't used to being chosen for anything important. He wasn't a soldier, or a diplomat, or anyone special. He was just a technician who fixed reactor panels and kept the lights on. But now, Rhea was looking at him like he was the last possible answer in a universe full of dead ends. "What exactly happens if he doesn't bond in time?" Jonas asked quietly. Rhea closed her eyes. "His glow will go out," she whispered. "And when a Vasari's glow dies, they do too." Silence settled in the hallway like a blanket of ice. Jonas exhaled slowly. "All right. No more waiting. Take me to him." Rhea lifted her head sharply. "You will really come?" "Yes." Her legs wobbled with relief, and she steadied herself on the wall. "Thank you," she breathed. "But there is something else you must know before we go inside." Jonas raised a brow. "There's more." She nodded, shame flickering across her face. The bond cannot be forced. My father must feel your energy and choose to reach for you. If he does not, her voice trailed into silence. He may push you away. Hard. Jonas blinked. Push me away how? Our Luma reacts when frightened, she said softly. If he senses danger, even by mistake, the energy backlash could strike outward. It's like a wave hitting everything around him. Jonas stared at her. That sounds like I might get hurt. Rhea nodded with regret. I will not lie to you. You could. But without you, he will die. Jonas rubbed the back of his neck. Okay. Risk understood. She stared at him with disbelief, like she expected him to run, or at least hesitate. But he didn't. I won't let you face this alone, he said. A small, fragile glow rose along Rhea's cheeks. She stepped closer, close enough that Jonas felt warmth radiating from her skin. Humans, you surprise me, she whispered. In ways I cannot explain. He offered a small smile. Then let's go surprise your father too. Rhea turned toward the Vasari residential wing, her steps quick but uncertain. Jonas followed, ready or not. Whatever waited behind those doors would change everything. And he wasn't turning back. The Vasari residential wing felt nothing like the rest of Unity Station. The halls outside were cold metal and bright lights, but here the air felt warm, thick, almost heavy. Soft gold lines pulsed along the curved walls, glowing gently like slow breaths. Jonas followed Rhea through a doorway framed with carved symbols. He didn't know what they meant, but he could feel their weight. Every mark seemed to say, family lives here. Step with care. Rhea paused at the entrance, her hand hovering above the control panel. Her fingers trembled. Are you ready? She asked. Jonas wasn't sure if anyone could ever be ready for something like this. But he nodded anyway. I'm here, he said. Open the door. She pressed her palm to the panel. The door slid aside with a soft whisper, revealing a room lit with dim, warm light. The air inside felt different, thicker, cooler, like something was draining energy from the space. And there he was. Elder Varen. Rhea's father. He lay on a wide, low platform, surrounded by woven fabric and small glowing stones. His skin, once bright with shifting light, was now dull and cracked like fading embers. His chest rose weakly, each breath uneven and shallow. Jonas had seen injured people before, burns, broken bones, accidents. But this was different. This looked like the life inside him was slipping away, thread by thread. Rhea stepped forward carefully, her voice soft and fragile. Father. I've brought someone. There was no reaction. Varen didn't turn his head. He didn't lift a hand. His glow didn't brighten. The silence around him felt almost alive, pressing into the room from every angle. Rhea whispered something in her native tongue. The words sounded like a prayer. Or maybe an apology. Again, no response. Her shoulders sagged, and Jonas saw her mask crack for the first time. She looked smaller, younger, hopeless. Jonas stepped forward before she could crumble. Let me try, he said gently. Rhea swallowed hard and nodded. Jonas approached the platform slowly. The closer he got, the colder the air felt. It wasn't normal cold. It felt like standing near someone in deep grief, like the kind of emptiness that pulled the warmth out of everything around it. He crouched beside the platform and spoke softly. Elder Varen, my name is Jonas. Your daughter believes I can help. I don't know if that's true, but I'm here. I'm not here to push you. I'm not here to take anyone's place. I'm only here to offer what little calm I have. Nothing. No movement. Then. A faint vibration touched the air. Jonas didn't hear it. He felt it. A soft hum brushing along his skin, like someone tapping the air beside him. Rhea's breath caught. He sensed you. Jonas placed his hand near Varen's, leaving a small space between them. Not touching, just close. A moment passed. Then another. Then Varen's fingers twitched. A tiny movement, almost invisible. But it wasn't random. It wasn't muscle reflex. It was deliberate, like someone trying to reach in the dark. Rhea whispered again, overwhelmed. He hasn't reacted to anyone. Not even to me. The hum grew slightly stronger, warming the air around Jonas's hand. Does this mean it's working? Jonas asked. Rhea nodded slowly. He feels your presence. Your energy, it doesn't hurt him. Jonas let out a shaky breath. Okay. What do I do next? Rhea stepped closer, her voice almost trembling. Stay near him. Let him feel that you are calm, steady. If his Luma accepts you, he might move closer. Jonas placed his other hand on his knee and leaned in just a little. He didn't touch Varen. He didn't even breathe too loudly. He just stayed there, quiet, patient, grounded. Varen's glow flickered. For the first time since Jonas saw him, a faint pulse of light moved across his chest, dim but steady. Rhea gasped and pressed her hands to her mouth. Jonas, look. Jonas looked. The cracks in Varen's skin glowed faintly. Not brightly. But enough to show life stirring beneath the broken surface. Another small twitch. Another pulse of light. Another hum brushing across Jonas's skin. He wasn't sure what was happening, but he felt something shift. The room felt warmer. The air felt less heavy. Something inside Varen was responding, slowly, painfully, but responding all the same. Jonas glanced at Rhea. Is this good? Tears shimmered in her eyes. It's more than good. It means he hasn't given up. Jonas nodded and moved his hand a little closer, not touching, just inviting. Varen's fingers crept toward his again. Small. Slow. Weak. But deliberate. Jonas felt his own heartbeat steady as if something inside him knew exactly what to do. Rhea whispered, voice full of fragile hope. Jonas. I think he's choosing to live. And Jonas knew then. This was no longer about a simple request. He was already part of something deeper. Something sacred. Something dangerous. Something he couldn't walk away from now. Jonas didn't know exactly when it happened, but at some point the cold in the room shifted. It was no longer sharp and painful, it softened into something warmer, like a slow breeze moving across his skin. Elder Varen's glow pulsed faintly with each gentle movement of Jonas's breath. Rhea knelt beside her father, watching with hope trembling through her entire body. He's sensing your rhythm, she whispered. Your heartbeat, your calmness, it's reaching him. Jonas didn't know how a heartbeat could help anyone, let alone revive an alien elder, but something inside him understood this moment. He stayed still, careful, patient. Then Elder Varen moved. Not much. Not fast. Just a tiny shift of his hand, dragging slowly across the platform until his fingertips hovered closer to Jonas's. Rhea choked on a breath. That's not random. That's a reach. Jonas swallowed, suddenly aware of how important every tiny moment was. He lowered his hand a little, leaving almost no space between their skin. You're doing great, he murmured softly toward the elder. I'm here. Just, take your time. Another flicker of glow moved through Varen's chest. Weak, but real. Rhea placed her hand over her heart as if holding something from breaking. He hasn't reacted to anyone like this, not even a healer. Jonas stayed still and watched as the elder's fingers trembled again. Slowly, painfully, his hand dragged toward Jonas's wrist until the faintest touch brushed across Jonas's skin. It felt warm. Gentle. Almost like a soft spark of energy passed between them. Jonas inhaled sharply. What was that? Rhea's eyes widened. The bond. That is the very first sign. The smallest spark, but the most important one. It means his Luma recognizes you as safe. Varen's glow flickered again, slightly brighter than before. Jonas looked at Rhea. So I just stay close. Yes, she whispered. But. Her voice trailed off. But what? He asked. She hesitated for several seconds, struggling to gather the courage to continue. Vasari bonds begin with small touches. But deeper bonding requires more than that. She gestured gently, embarrassed. It requires closeness. Very close closeness. Jonas raised an eyebrow. Define very close. Rhea's cheeks glowed with soft light. Shared air. Shared warmth. Forehead to forehead if he chooses. It is how we offer trust. But if you are uncomfortable. I'm not, Jonas said before she finished. If it helps him, I can do it. Rhea blinked, surprised. You would do that? Without hesitation. Jonas shrugged lightly. Your father needs someone. I'm here. That's enough. Her glow brightened, warming the dim room. You are, unlike most humans, she whispered. Before Jonas could respond, Elder Varen shifted again, more strongly this time. His arm trembled, lifting slowly, painfully, until his hand hovered near Jonas's chest, then dropped weakly back to the bedding. Rhea gasped. He tried, she whispered. He tried to reach your heart. That is the deepest signal of acceptance. Jonas frowned. Why would he do that now? Isn't that early? Rhea shook her head. No. When a Vasari finds a presence that eases their pain, they seek its source. The heart is the center of resonance. If he manages to touch your chest, even briefly, she swallowed hard. The bond will root. Jonas glanced down at the elder's trembling hand. What do I do? Just be steady, Rhea whispered urgently. Let him feel you. Let him choose. His body knows what to do. Jonas leaned closer, moving slowly, giving space but offering stability. His chest rose and fell in calm breaths. His hand hovered over Varen's again, warm and steady. Varen's glow brightened in response. Then it happened. With a weak but determined movement, Elder Varen's hand lifted again. This time it rose higher, toward Jonas's chest. His fingers shook violently, almost collapsing under their own weight. But he kept moving, inch by inch. Jonas didn't move. He didn't breathe. Rhea covered her mouth again, tears building in her eyes. Come on, father, you can do it. Varen's fingers finally touched Jonas's chest, light as a whisper. A warm pulse flowed outward, gentle but powerful. Jonas felt something inside his own body shift, like another rhythm synced with his. The glow along Varen's skin brightened, not enough to shine, but enough to show life waking up inside him. Rhea let out a broken gasp. He touched your heart, she whispered. He chose you. The bond has begun. Jonas exhaled slowly, overwhelmed yet calm. What happens now? Rhea wiped her eyes, voice shaking with relief. Now, you hold him steady. You keep him alive. And we take each step together. Jonas nodded. He had walked into this as a stranger. Now he was something else. A lifeline, a guide, an anchor. And there was no turning back. For several long seconds, the room stayed completely silent. Jonas didn't move. Rhea didn't breathe. Elder Varen's trembling hand rested against Jonas's chest, glowing faintly like a small ember trying to reignite after a storm. And it did. Slowly, gently, Varen's glow spread across his arm, flowing down into his chest, warming the cracks that had darkened his skin. His breathing grew steadier, deeper, almost peaceful. Jonas felt the warmth spreading through him too. Not like heat from a fire, more like an emotional warmth, a calmness that settled inside his ribs and made the air feel lighter. "Jonas," Rhea whispered through trembling lips. "His Luma is syncing with yours. This is the strongest sign of trust our people have." Jonas looked at her, noticing the tears gathering in her eyes. "Is he safe now?" "Not safe," she said softly. "But no longer dying." Her voice cracked on the last word. Varen's hand slowly drifted back down onto the bedding, exhausted by the effort. But his breathing remained steady. His glow stayed warm. His presence filled the room instead of fading into it. Jonas let out a breath he didn't know he'd been holding. Rhea wiped her face with shaking hands. "I haven't seen him breathe like that since my mother passed." Jonas nodded and shifted slightly so he was sitting closer to the platform, giving Varen more support. The warmth in the air increased, almost like the elder was pulling strength from Jonas's nearness. "Will he need more of this?" Jonas asked. Rhea nodded immediately. "Yes. Bonds don't settle after one touch. They grow. They take time. And in the beginning, they are fragile." Jonas considered her words. "How fragile?" Rhea hesitated, her glow dimming slightly. "If you leave too soon, or if his energy loses connection with yours abruptly, his Luma could collapse again. Maybe worse. So I need to stay." "Yes," Rhea whispered. "Tonight, at least. And tomorrow. And the next cycle. Until his body learns your rhythm." Jonas rubbed the back of his neck. "This is a little more than I expected." Rhea lowered her head. "I know. And I am sorry. I never wanted to pull you into something so heavy. But you were the only human with the right resonance. The only one who could even reach him." Jonas looked at Varen's resting form. "I don't regret it," he said quietly. "If he needs someone, I'll be here." Rhea's glow brightened, soft and warm. "You speak as if this is simple, but for my people, this is a sacred role. You are becoming his anchor. His emotional partner. It is a place of great honor and great weight." Jonas offered a small smile. "Guess I'll just try to live up to it." Rhea looked away, her cheeks glowing brighter, not from fear, but something gentler. She moved closer and knelt beside him. "There is more you need to know about our bonds, Jonas. Humans think of connection as something spoken or decided. But for the Vasari, it is something felt. Something that grows in silence." She paused as Varen shifted softly, his glow rippling toward Jonas again. "When a Vasari chooses a bond," she continued, "they do not let go. Not ever. Not even death fully ends it." Jonas stiffened slightly. "So, this isn't temporary?" Rhea shook her head. "If his Luma completes the bond with yours, you become part of his essence. Part of who he is." Jonas inhaled slowly. He wasn't afraid, but the weight of the responsibility pressed into him. "And what about you?" he asked gently. Instinctively, Rhea's glow trembled across her cheeks again. She looked down at her hands. "My people feel connection strongly. Even secondhand," she whispered. "When you touched my father, I felt the shift. Your presence, it calms, even near me." Jonas blinked. "Is that normal?" She shook her head. "No. It means your resonance is stronger than I thought. Humans experience emotions like small waves. Our people experience them like storms. But your presence, your calmness, it softens everything." He didn't know what to say to that. But Varen breathed deeper again, his glow warming to a gentle blue that filled the room with peaceful light. "Jonas," Rhea said quietly, "you saved him from the edge." Jonas sat in silence, watching the elder's chest rise and fall. "I didn't do anything special," he murmured. I just stayed. Sometimes, Rhea whispered, that is the most special thing someone can do. She placed a small woven cushion beside the platform. You should rest here tonight. It will help him stay stable. And you? Jonas asked. She hesitated for only a moment. I will stay too, she said softly. If he wakes. I want him to see us both. Jonas nodded. As he settled near the platform, Varen's glow brightened slightly, recognizing the presence, accepting it, grounding itself to it. Rhea sat beside Jonas, her shoulder brushing his gently. For the first time since he met her, she allowed herself to breathe normally. For the first time since her mother died, she wasn't holding the world on her shoulders alone. And Jonas realized something silently, almost without noticing. He wasn't just helping an alien father. He was becoming part of something much, much bigger. The chamber settled into a strange kind of peace. Elder Varen slept, his glow rising and falling in slow waves. Each pulse drifted toward Jonas like a quiet heartbeat stretching across the room. Every time it reached him, Jonas felt a soft warmth spread across his chest, a reminder that Varen's fragile life was now tethered to his presence. Jonas sat beside the resting platform, legs folded, back straight, trying not to disturb anything. Rhea sat next to him, her knees pulled close, her silver-blue glow flickering softly in the dim light. For a long moment, neither spoke. It wasn't an awkward silence. It was the kind of silence that felt needed, heavy but healing, like the air finally had room to breathe again. Rhea finally whispered, his glow, it's changing. Jonas looked closer. She was right. The glow from Varen's chest had shifted from faint blue to a warmer tone, something closer to life, to recovery, to hope. He responds to you, she continued quietly. His breathing follows yours. His glow follows your calm. Jonas inhaled slow and steady, testing it, and Varen's glow pulsed in the same rhythm. That's a little strange, Jonas murmured. It is more than strange for Vasari, Rhea said softly. It means his spirit trusts you. Fully. Jonas shifted slightly. How long before he wakes up? That depends on how deeply he needs to draw from you. Right now, his Luma is pulling your calmness like water. It's healing the broken parts, but slowly. Jonas nodded, though he was still trying to wrap his mind around the idea that his presence could fix a dying alien soul. Rhea's eyes softened as she watched her father's steady glow. You know, when my mother was alive, their glows danced together. His was never this dim. I thought when she died, his light was gone forever. Jonas glanced at her. He loved her that much? More than anything, Rhea whispered. Our bonds aren't like human relationships. They aren't chosen just by feelings. They grow deep into the body. When one partner dies, the other often follows. She lowered her gaze to the floor. I thought I would lose him too. Jonas watched her hands shake slightly. Without thinking, he gently touched her arm. Rhea froze. Her glow flickered in surprise, but not fear. Something softer. You don't have to be alone with this, Jonas said quietly. Her eyes widened. Her voice came out small. You say that so easily. The glow along her cheeks warmed. Most humans look away when they see pain. But you step forward. Jonas shrugged. Someone has to. No, she whispered. Not someone. You. Before Jonas could respond, a faint hum pulsed through the room again. Varen's glow brightened, warming the air. The elder shifted slightly, turning his face toward Jonas even in sleep. His breathing deepened again, matching Jonas's calm pace perfectly. Rhea's breath caught. His body recognizes you even while unconscious. How long will this bond last? Jonas asked. If it roots fully, Rhea answered, his entire life. You will be part of his essence. A part of his energy. And he will feel your emotions as if they were echoes inside him. Jonas blinked. So he'll know if I'm scared? Rhea nodded. Or angry. Or sad. Or calm. She paused, then added softly, that is why presence matters. You don't bring storms with you. Jonas ran a hand through his hair. No pressure or anything. Rhea laughed quietly, a small, gentle sound he hadn't heard from her before. You joke even now. Humans really are strange. A soft rustling sound drew their attention back to Varen. His glow pulsed in a slow, steady rhythm, strong enough to wash across the entire room. Rhea's eyes widened. That glow. Jonas, he hasn't shown that level since before the accident. Jonas looked closer. The cracks in Varen's skin were closing, light filling the dark lines like liquid silver. He's healing. Rhea covered her mouth, tears forming again. I never thought I would see this. Not in my lifetime. Jonas spoke gently. What happens when he wakes up? Rhea wiped her eyes. He'll recognize you. Instantly. The bond will tell him who you are. He will feel gratitude, shame, fear, everything at once. And you? Jonas asked. Rhea hesitated. I will feel the aftermath of all of it. A daughter shares her parents' resonance. When his emotions flood him, some will reach me too. Jonas frowned. Is that dangerous? No. But it will be overwhelming. Anne, her voice softened. Having you here will help him. Anne, help me. Jonas leaned back slightly, letting the warm glow wash over him again. Well. I'm not leaving. Rhea looked away quickly, as if trying to hide the sudden brightness in her cheeks. You shouldn't say that, she whispered. Not unless you mean it. Jonas answered simply, I do. Silence wrapped around them again, warm, calm, and strangely peaceful. The elder slept. The daughter watched. The human anchored them both. And as the hours passed, Jonas realized something he hadn't before. He wasn't just saving a life. He was becoming part of their world. Their bond. Their family. Their future. And the bond was only getting stronger. Hours passed. The soft glow of Elder Varen filled the chamber like morning light spilling into a dark room. Jonas felt the warmth brush against him every time he inhaled, almost like the elder's heartbeat responded to his. Rhea rested beside him, her head lowered, her breathing slow and steady. Exhaustion had finally caught up to her, but she refused to sleep. She kept glancing at her father, checking his glow, checking Jonas, making sure the bond stayed strong. Then. Something shifted. The warm glow around Elder Varen suddenly brightened, pushing against the air. A soft hum rolled through the room, gentle but full of strength. Rhea sat up instantly. He's waking. Jonas straightened and leaned closer. Varen's fingers twitched first. Then his chest rose in a deep, steady breath. Then his eyelids trembled, and slowly opened. He didn't look confused. He didn't look frightened. He looked aware. His gaze drifted across the room until it landed on Jonas. The glow across his body pulsed warmly, almost gratefully. Varen did not speak, Vasari rarely did during emotional moments, but the meaning was clear. He knew. He felt. He understood. Jonas nodded softly. Hey. I'm here. A faint sound escaped Varen's throat, a weak hum, but full of life. His hand lifted slightly, shaking with effort, and turned toward Jonas in silent acknowledgement. Rhea covered her mouth, her voice breaking. He recognizes you. The bond reached him. Varen slowly moved his hand to rest over his own chest, then extended 2 fingers toward Jonas again, an old Vasari gesture meaning joined essence. Jonas hesitated only a second before mirroring the gesture. Another gentle hum filled the room as their energies aligned. The glow in Varen's cracks closed even more, healing from the inside out. Rhea knelt beside her father, tears streaming down her face. "Father. I thought I lost you." Varen reached weakly toward her and touched her forehead. His glow wrapped around her like a warm blanket. Jonas watched the moment, feeling like an outsider and yet undeniably part of it. A family was reconnecting. And he was now woven into that connection. Rhea wiped her tears and turned to Jonas, her voice soft but shaking. "Jonas, you didn't just steady him. You saved him." Jonas shook his head. "We saved him." "No," Rhea insisted firmly. "Without your calmness, without your presence, without your heart, he would be gone." Varen shifted again, looking between his daughter and Jonas. A deeper glow rolled across his skin, a sign of acceptance. He placed his hand over his heart once more, then toward Jonas. Rhea inhaled sharply. "He's offering you the final part of the bond." Jonas blinked. "Wait, the final part?" "Yes," Rhea whispered. "This is him saying, you are now part of my family. A partner in spirit." Jonas hesitated. This was huge. Permanent. Life-changing. He looked at Rhea, searching her eyes. She met his gaze without blinking. "No fear. Only hope." "You don't have to accept," she said softly. "Even now, you can step back. He survived because of you. That alone is enough." Jonas looked down at Varen, weak, healing, glowing with a quiet dignity. The elder had trusted him without knowing him. Had reached for him when everyone else caused pain. Had chosen him. Jonas placed his hand over his chest and extended 2 fingers toward Varen. A soft wave of light rippled across the elder's body in response. The bond sealed. Not with words. Not with ceremony. Just silence, warmth, and trust. Rhea's breath caught again as she watched the exchange. "You accepted," she whispered, voice barely audible. "You are truly one of us now." Jonas smiled softly. "Guess I just gained a family." Rhea's glow flickered brighter, spreading across her cheeks in a gentle, emotional shimmer. She stepped closer, almost without thinking, and placed her hand softly over Jonas's. The warmth of her glow brushed his skin like a soft whisper of wind. "You didn't just gain a family," she said quietly. "We gained you." For a moment, the 3 of them sat together in peaceful silence. An elder reborn. A daughter relieved. A human forever changed. But as the glow in the room settled, a soft rumble echoed from the hallway outside. A distant alarm. A vibration in the walls. The lights flickered once, twice, before returning to normal. Jonas frowned. "What was that?" Rhea stiffened. "I don't know." Varen slowly moved his hand to rest over his own chest, then extended 2 fingers toward Jonas again, an old Vasari gesture meaning joined essence. Jonas hesitated only a second before mirroring the gesture. Another gentle hum filled the room as their energies aligned. The glow in Varen's cracks closed even more, healing from the inside out. Rhea knelt beside her father, tears streaming down her face. "Father. I thought I lost you." Varen reached weakly toward her and touched her forehead. His glow wrapped around her like a warm blanket. Jonas watched the moment, feeling like an outsider and yet undeniably part of it. A family was reconnecting. And he was now woven into that connection. Rhea wiped her tears and turned to Jonas, her voice soft but shaking. "Jonas, you didn't just steady him. You saved him." Jonas shook his head. "We saved him." "No," Rhea insisted firmly. "Without your calmness, without your presence, without your heart, he would be gone." Varen shifted again, looking between his daughter and Jonas. A deeper glow rolled across his skin, a sign of acceptance. He placed his hand over his heart once more, then toward Jonas. Rhea inhaled sharply. He's offering you the final part of the bond. Jonas blinked. Wait, the final part? Yes, Rhea whispered. This is him saying, you are now part of my family. A partner in spirit. Jonas hesitated. This was huge. Permanent. Life-changing. He looked at Rhea, searching her eyes. She met his gaze without blinking. No fear. Only hope. You don't have to accept, she said softly. Even now, you can step back. He survived because of you. That alone is enough. Jonas looked down at Varen, weak, healing, glowing with a quiet dignity. The elder had trusted him without knowing him. Had reached for him when everyone else caused pain. Had chosen him. Jonas placed his hand over his chest and extended 2 fingers toward Varen. A soft wave of light rippled across the elder's body in response. The bond sealed. Not with words. Not with ceremony. Just silence, warmth, and trust. Rhea's breath caught again as she watched the exchange. You accepted, she whispered, voice barely audible. You are truly one of us now. Jonas smiled softly. Guess I just gained a family. Rhea's glow flickered brighter, spreading across her cheeks in a gentle, emotional shimmer. She stepped closer, almost without thinking, and placed her hand softly over Jonas's. The warmth of her glow brushed his skin like a soft whisper of wind. You didn't just gain a family, she said quietly. We gained you. For a moment, the 3 of them sat together in peaceful silence. An elder reborn. A daughter relieved. A human forever changed. But as the glow in the room settled, a soft rumble echoed from the hallway outside. A distant alarm. A vibration in the walls. The lights flickered once, twice, before returning to normal. Jonas frowned. What was that? Rhea stiffened. I don't know. Varen slowly turned his head toward the doorway, his newly brightened glow dimming with concern. The peace in the room fractured. Something was happening outside. Something big. Something unexpected. Rhea stood quickly, her glow sharpening into a bright, alert shimmer. Jonas, whatever that is, we may not be safe. Jonas rose beside her. The bond was complete. The family was whole again. But the universe was not done with them. Not even close. Rhea looked at Jonas, her voice steady but urgent. Are you ready for what comes next? Jonas met her eyes. After tonight? I'm ready for anything. She exhaled, and the door slid open on its own, revealing shadows and flashing lights in the corridor. Their new story. Their new danger. Had just begun.